Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, I'm your host, Mrs. M. And if you haven't, make sure you click the link below. That way you can subscribe to my channel and not miss out on anything you need to scale your business to six figures and beyond. How? So I'm so excited today. I am going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, AI and GovCon. Now, I'm actually talking about things you can do to become rich within your government contracting business. One of the advantages that I know AI has, and I'm going to share with you in this video training, a little short mini training right now. Let's go. The one thing that I know about it is that it gives you the advantage in several ways. One, speed. It allows you to be able to do things in areas, especially market intelligence. That means gathering the information that normally only a company that was able to have someone that was in market intelligence able to gather. So that gives you a kind of like an even playing field, even though you may not have the numbers. The other thing is it gives you the competitive intelligence. That means you can kind of look and see and spy on your competitors. And then I love it because it definitely helps us with proposal writing. So stay into this video, stay to the end. I want to share with you something that is going on right now in 2025 that is so amazing to me and to my students. I wanted to share it with my YouTube family. So let's look at a couple of things here. These are prompts that I want you to make sure that you start using, and you definitely need to start using AI with your government marketing. If you're looking at doing government, federal contracts, whether you're doing state, we're talking about federal right now, it is a must. Not a should, not I think I will. It's a must because it's going to balance you out in areas that you may not have a relationship with someone, or maybe you don't have a lot of past performances, or maybe you don't really know what is your advantage. Well, that's what the AI does. It goes in and it kind of removes the areas that you may not be sure. Now, understand a lot of it has a lot to do with what we call prompting as a prompt engineer. There's several levels. Level one, which is the very simple one, that's when we're using chat or Claude or Perplexity or something like that. And those are the ones that we look at telling AI, you, the human, tell AI what you want. What do you want it to do? So let's look at the first thing. I wanted to find all my incoming solicitations in NAICS code 56720 on sam.gov over the next 90 days and summarize key opportunities by agency. Then I wanted to show me the expiring contracts, one of my favorite, in FPDS and SAM data bank for NAICS code 561210. Just put in your NAICS code in Virginia, which is where I'm located, within the last 12 months for the list that of the incumbent contractors and the contract values. And then I love going into sam.gov and setting up one of my favorite, which I normally use, total business set aside. So total small business set aside is what I normally use to win quite a few opportunities and to share with my student things they need to do. So when you go into SAM, you can filter a lot of things and you can ask it what small business set aside, woman owned, 8A hub, or small disadvantaged business, veteran business are tracking or trending with DHS, VA, or DOD. Why do you think they chose those three? Because those are my three, if this is my NAICS code, those are my three largest government buyers. Department of DHS, Department of Homeland Security, VA, Veteran Affairs, or Department of Defense. That's why I chose that. Now, one of the things I look at is market intelligence and pipeline. You want to make sure that you are doing the market intelligence, which is what a lot of small business didn't even know really what it was. Is just simply gathering the information I gave you so that you can fill up your pipeline with your sales so that way you can start winning what contracts. Now, I think you really need to look at the formula that I always talk about, my OBART system. O for offer, V is for buyer, A is for avenue. What is your avenue? How do you plan on winning? So I look at winning with a easy peasy, which is micro purchases, and that falls under simplified acquisition procedures. Why do I choose those? Because that is what the new administration is really focused on. So then I'm going to look at competitive intelligence. That's where I'm going to ask it to provide a competitor profile of the top small business that are winning contracts, put in your industry under, they said 10 million. You want to do maybe 500,000, depending on where you are. Some of you may be at 10 million. That's where we put in ours, including recent awards, teaming partners, and differentiators. What are the three common weaknesses in small businesses? And then summarize past performance requirements. Then I can get into proposal writing and compliance, and it could be in pricing and financial. What are the average winning price ranges for those contracts under $1 million? And how should I structure my indirect rates and margins? Very big, because a lot of times people are doing the middleman. They don't realize that they're just putting in saying, okay, I want you. They'll send the middleman, their subcontractor, what the scope of work is. And they'll ask the subcontractor to simply give them, like they'll give them a percentage and they'll add just 20% or 15%. And they don't really discern between indirect costs, direct costs, and all of that. So that's what you want to really want to look at. And then you can ask it to build a simple cost breakdown, labor, overhead, materials, profit for your NACS code. Teaming and subcontracting. I know I asked for a list of prime contractors in Alexandria, Virginia, and then write introduction letter for me. Write it for me so that it can tailor it to what I know their problems are, because I can ask, what are the main problems with this NACS code? When I asked it what you want to do, one of your prompts, when you ask it, what is the main problem? I know with facility support services, it was turnover rate, that was high, compliance was high, and then I think quality. So when we're addressing what we need to look at, that is one of the main things. And I can ask it to write an introduction letter, and then I can go with my government branding and marketing. Well, if you don't know what your branding is and marketing, that is your CAPE statement, your capability narrative that's on your DSBS profile. That's your CAPE briefing. All of that is what you're looking at. You can ask it to create that, do the introduction letter, the CAPE statement, the CAPE briefing, and then you can ask for outreach and relationship building. And I can ask for the top keywords, and then it kind of narrows it down. My 20 prompts gave me pipeline and opportunities, competitive positioning, proposal and pricing, branding and marketing, outreach, and competitive tracking. Now, one of the things I love is I asked for elevator pitch. Elevator, and I said Govcon elevator pitch for NACS code 624230. And then this is for disaster relief or recovery services. And I loved it because it said we provide emergency and relief services that help agencies respond faster, safer, and with fewer gaps in coverage. What makes us different is our ability to mobilize quickly with reliable partners, deliver turnkey support, reduces administrative burdens, and customize relief solutions to the exact mission need, whether it's disaster recovery, housing, or critical support services. And then it talks about we focus on being the small business that agencies can actually depend on when every hour matters. And then I go into my call of action, my CTA. I love to share with you how our structure solution can help you with the short capability briefing. Now let's look like why that works. It works for several reasons. One, it leads with the outcome. I always teach my students, you don't want to go with the fluff words, quality, and that's subjective. You want to lead what is the outcome for the government buyer. They're going to get a faster response, check. They're going to have, it's going to be safer, check. And it's going to have fewer gaps. That is something that they can quantify and it makes sense. Highlights your differentiators, speed, turnkey support, dependability, positions you as low risk and high reliability, 2 thumbs up, and closes with a call to action. So this is what I love. And then I finally came here. I wanted to know what are some of the things I can do differently that are really making a difference in 2025. So one of the things in 2025 that's really making a difference is COTS, commercial off the shelf. And I wanted an example of what I could do. So we provide prepackaged, ready to deploy emergency relief support kits for disaster affected communities for federal agency. Each kit is stocked, stocked and delivered, standardized. And then they gave me some ideals here. I can call it my rapid response relief kit, which is my R3. I can call it that. I can call it something else, and then I can come up with like essential relief kit, family support kit, shelter kit, support kit. All of this are things that I can use. So I can think of some great things here that are really, really, really going to be major items for putting me ahead of where a lot of people. So I know that there's so many other ideas I can come up with. I can come up with tens of 20s of 30 of ideas that are going to put me ahead of my competition. And I did this all in maybe 5 minutes. So when you are looking at AI in government and helping you become rich, yes, rich, looking at the six figures and beyond, pow, that is exactly what it can do. It can position you very easily in Q4 to be able to do that. Now, if you'd like to know more, where I get into all of this training in great detail, then make sure you join me for my next quarter 4 special training. We're getting close to the end, so we're ramping them up and wrapping them up. I think we've got one more, and then we're done for Q4. And we have people that have won. One young lady won a hundred and I think it's $166,000 opportunity as a product. Now, one of the things I want to do training on is where to find the money. When you're doing products, that's the main one. Services, you can wait 30 days because either you can do the work or someone else can do the work. But a product, you normally have to have the capital, and that excludes a lot of small businesses. So there's a whole thing I want to do on locating and how to navigate if you want to do products instead of services. So make sure you join. The link's in the description. Love to see you there. I go into this and so much more in my Q5 or Q4, no Q5, Q4 training. And this is Mrs. M. Look forward to seeing you again soon. And make sure that you are ready to win and make sure you're ready to get that money. So until next time, be safe and take care. Bye bye.